Hello Stampers, my name is Linda Bedinger and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Denver, Colorado. I'm so glad you could join me today. I have a card for you. It's a masculine birthday card, and the last video I put up, I worked with those gold cards and envelopes out of the August through December mini catalog for 2020, and I'm so enamored with that whole business of using the embossing folder that has the pine trees on it. It's called Evergreen Forest on foil. What I did was I used a little bit of that on this card, and I really like the way it came out. So let's just get started. Okay, so here is my card. This time I did my embossing on a piece of our champagne foil. So these are the card and the envelope from that gold cards and envelopes set. It's 10 cards and envelopes for $10 in the 2020 August through December mini catalog. And I used my Forever Greenery gold laser cut papers and made a bunch of cards. And I was looking at this envelope and saying, you know, I think I'm going to turn that into a card front, and so I did. So here is the card that I made. Absolutely a masculine card, but I was looking for an excuse also to use these cute little embellishments that are these buckles and these corners, and I thought that worked pretty well. And this is such pretty shiny gold paper. I thought it might be kind of fun to offset it with some of the champagne foil paper. And then I used early espresso, and I used pretty peacock on the inside. Very plain, just a strip of this gold paper and a couple of these embellishments. And by the way, these are my pearls that I have colored with my blend that is pretty peacock. So let's just get started. What it takes to make this card is you need a small scrap of the champagne foil and run it through that Evergreen Forest file embossing folder. And what I found was I ran a large sheet through the embossing folder and then went to go cut the ovals. And what that did was, you can see the difference between these two ovals, or maybe you can't, I don't know, I'll bring it up. This one is a little, not quite as crisp as this one. And what I found was that when I ran it back through to cut out the ovals, it kind of compressed the embossing. So when you do this, the smart thing to do is cut your ovals first and then place your ovals in the embossing folder and get a nice crisp image. And that seemed to work a little bit better. So I went ahead and cut my oval, and I used our layering oval dies. And if you count from the smallest, 1, 2, 3, 4, it was this one, number 5, that I used to cut out this oval. So it's either 5th from the smallest or 3rd from the largest that are not scalloped. All right. Then you need one of these envelopes from the gold envelopes and cards. And from that, I cut a piece from the very front of that card, 5 by 3 3/4, and then from the envelope flap, I cut this piece that is 5 by 1/2 inch. Then I have 2 pieces of early espresso, cut 4 by 5 1/4. I have my pretty peacock base, and I have a piece of very vanilla cut 3 3/4 by 5 for the inside. And it really is a pretty fast and easy card. Now this is my faux suede trim, which I used, and then my little embellishments, which we'll put on our card here. So I in working with this, what I found was, let me get all of my little pieces that I need out here. I think that's what I need. Okay. And I used my happy birthday from Here's a Card. And I stamped it right here on the gold paper in the Pretty Peacock. So this little bit of ribbon that goes across here needs to be just long enough to be able to be secured around the back. I'd say 5 or 6 inches. Let me see what it turns out to be. Yeah, this is 5 and 3/4, 5.5, and just so long as it's big enough to go around all of that. And it's simple enough. It's like threading a buckle. These little pieces of ribbon fit right through these little buckle elements. See if I can get one going here. And pushing that through the element and then pulling it through is how I got my buckles on there. And I decided to use 2 of them. They're so cute. And I thought it made a really interesting element to this card, different kind of decoration. And I didn't put them right in the corner. I didn't like the way they looked. They kind of just disappeared against the early espresso. So I recessed mine on the gold to give more of a contrasting color effect. So there we go. I've got those 2 threaded on there, and that's all I need until I get ready to put it and place it. And then these elements, so I'm going to set that all up here in the corner. Then the next thing to do is to go ahead and adhere these 2 pieces together for the outside of the card. So I will add my seal here to the back of this. This paper is just beautiful. I just love it. And so I'm going to figure out some more things to do with that. I mean, they gave me 10 envelopes. I'll put the rest of the cards in very vanilla envelopes, and I will not waste this beautiful paper. I'll continue to make things with it. So there we go. Now this piece ends up going up on dimensionals, and it curls a little bit. So I put actually quite a few dimensionals. And if I'd have been thinking about it, you know, we have those adhesive sheets now that they're almost like a giant dimensional, and maybe some strips of that along here would be better. I have to remember that I've got that stuff now. So I'm going to add these here. And place this on here, and it's going to need to go, as you can see, a little bit towards the top. Well, in fact, before I do that, I think I'm going to go ahead and put this on my front of my card before it gets too much dimension and is hard to put down. So let me put this first on here. Isn't that rich looking? I just love this pretty peacock with the gold and the early espresso. I think it came out just gorgeous. Now this piece is going to need to go right in here towards the top. I'm putting it down about half an inch maybe from the top and setting that in place. And then, oh shoot, I forgot to put my ribbon on after all of that. So I'll have to lift that and get it going. But these 2 little buckles, what I ended up doing was putting a little bit of my dot runner on the back side of this ribbon to kind of hold it in place. Let me make sure that that's what I want. Yep, that looks about right. And so And as long as I was at it, I went ahead and put dot runner on the back of those buckles too. And they're pretty easy to adjust once you've got them in place because they're moving around a little. So let's see if I can rescue this. I was so sure I wanted to have it on before I added some of the other elements. I completely forgot wrapping the ribbon around it. So about like that, because I want to also leave enough room to do my stamping. And in fact, before I wrap that around, I think I will do my stamping. I have my happy birthday here, and then I have my pretty peacock ink. Now my happy birthday, which is going to go right down here. And I'm going to hold that because this paper is a little slick, so I want to make sure that I get a good impression there. There we go. Very good. Now, what I have to do is lift these edges a little bit from the corners, enough to get this ribbon secured behind. Looks like I'm going to get away with it. And I don't want to smudge my ink. This seal is very sticky stuff. So I'm very lucky to be able to get that done that way. All right, there we go. And then I can adjust my little buckles and press them into place. And there we go. We've got a start on this. Now this ink has to get put away. And then we have our other elements here, these little corner pieces. And what I did with these is I used glue dots. So I have my glue dots here. And what I did was to take a glue dot, and they just fit in these corners, and put the glue dot right here in the corner of this little corner piece, and then put it into place right where I want it in this corner, leaving a bit of a margin on either side. So I'll go around the card and put these on. Okay, now what I did was I took some of my pearls and then used my dark Pretty Peacock blend, and I just colored some of the pearls, and I thought I might use the larger ones, but I think the small ones look a little bit better, and I just popped one of those right in the corner of that little corner piece, and 4 of them. And I thought it seemed to make the card look more finished without looking feminine. And I think that there's something about bringing that pretty peacock color one additional way to more of the inside of the card. I mean, it's down here in the message, but I think that looks just perfect. All right, so the inside of this card, what I have is my piece of early espresso, and then I have my very vanilla piece, and I'm layering those 2 pieces together. There we go. And then this piece on the inside, and then my little gold stripping will be all done. So it's actually a very fast little card, especially I'm probably going to make up 5 or 6 of them, just because I like having things like this one on hand for male birthday. And so I have cut, you know, 5 or 6 of these little pieces here. So I'll just sit here and put those together and be ready to go. So this piece now is going to go on to here, and I will put a little bit of seal on the back. Well, I guess I better get it all the way to the bottom. And make sure I've got it all the way to both ends of this. That's the nice thing about the silicone mat. You can run your glue right off the edge and it doesn't stick. All right, then I'm going to set this piece down with a small margin showing the vanilla so it looks like lots of layers, which is kind of fun. And then I'm going to take 2 more of these little pearls and put them here at the top. And I don't know why 2, maybe I'll add 3. Sure, why not? I've got 1 more that's colored. And there, that looks very buttoned down. All right, so there we go. That is the project for the day. Thank you so much for stopping by my YouTube channel today. I do so appreciate it. And if you don't already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator, or you could join my team. There's a wonderful join offer this month that is $125 worth of product for $99. Plus you get 2 additional stamp sets, plus all of the material you need to make 16 cards as part of your kit. My telephone number is listed below the video always, and I'd be happy to chat with you about any of the details on that. If you're curious, just let me know. And no pressure, but love to talk to you about it. So that's, let's see, it's September, and my prize draw is the Poinsettia Petals Bundle, which is the beautiful poinsettia stamp set. And I think I've got it right here. There's the stamp set, and then there's dies that come with this stamp set. And that is my prize for the month of September. And all you have to do to get yourself in my drawing is to place an order on my store of any size, lbedinger.stampinup.net, or you can get to it through my blog, www.inkingenuity.com. So again, thanks for stopping by, and I'll be back soon with more projects, more tips, and more cards. Bye!